Hello fellow book lovers, I'm Mira and let's talk about books. Today I will share all the new book editions I got in my library. Let's look at it together. Probably the most exciting one is Blood Over Bright Haven by Emma Lang. This is probably my most anticipated standalone. I only heard great things about this book. It's very highly rated, as well as her other book, Sword of Kaigen, which I don't have yet. I can't wait to read it this year. I want to read it during the Christmas holidays. I like not knowing too much about the book before reading it. The thing I do know is there is a female main character in a world where only men are allowed to be mages, and she will be the one to break this cycle and the norm, and that's pretty much all I know. And it's supposed to be amazing. The book is red. And there's this thing, so really like it. Another new edition is The Once and Future King by T.H. White. This is a retelling of the Arthurian legend. I would love to read this at the start of next year. I keep thinking about this book as a historical book, but there is Merlin and it's a masterpiece of fantasy, so yeah, it's not historical book, and it's a classic novel of King Arthur. Very happy to show you this book, Bookshops Bonedust by Travis Baldry. I wanted this US cover to match with Legend and Lattes, which I already got. And this I also got second hand as well as the first one, and I already read this book. I just really prefer this cover with the character art, and I'm happy to have it on my shelves. What is a book that you got because of the beautiful cover? Well, this is one of those for me. The cover got me hooked. I need to know what's going on, who is this character, why is she bleeding from the eye, and I just love how gory and brutal it looks. That's the vibe I'm getting. This is sci-fi short novella. It's 130 pages. Maybe I will pick it up when I have a day off and I read it all in one day. That's what I would expect. I heard really good things about this. Great cover. Another sci-fi that has also interesting cover is Tenlo by Stark Holborn. This was described as sci-fi western by some people, and I also heard really great things about the trilogy, which is the Factus sequence. This contrasting cover really catches the eye. Each of the book in this trilogy has a female main character on the cover, and it's very bright, very intriguing. We are following the main character, who's a doctor on a moon called Factus. That's where all the trilogy is gonna take place then, I assume, because of the name. And she encounters another character, and she's swept up in the events. I got these 3 books for my library. The first one, most people know, it's Howl's Moving Castle by the author Diana Wynne Jones. Howl's Moving Castle is one of the most popular Ghibli movies. It's not my personal top favorite, but I really enjoy it. And this is the book it was based on. I want to see if it's exactly the same as the movie or what things were changed, as well as checking out these other 2 books by this author, Castle in the Air and House of Many Ways. I never heard of this one, so I'm interested to see what it's about. The Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu is very famous. It's 4-book series. They are very thick books. So far I have 2 of them. I did hear that the first one is definitely different than the rest of the series. It's a setup for the world, and I guess it should read like a history book almost. And after you get through that, you pick up the Wolf Storms, and this one should be more of a continuous story with the rest of the books. I heard great things about this series. The only thing I'm upset about is this book, which for some reason came with a permanent sticker on the cover. How dare you? It's even worse considering all of the books connect into one picture with the covers, so I just hope I will get the rest without the sticker. It's also weird that this one is a little bit glossy and this one is matte. I think this one is the original one. I will continue to collect novels by Critical Role because I love Critical Role. I already have and read Kit and Kin. Now I have The 9 Eyes of Lucien as well. I'm not sure when I will get around to reading this because the first novel was not very great. in my own opinion. I just want to have this on my shelf for now and collect this. I know there's a third one, which is What Doesn't Break, and it's a novel about Lodna from Bell's Hell. I do have a novel that is not a fantasy or sci-fi, and it is Earthlings by Sayaka Murata. This author is known for The Convenience Store Woman, and this is another book by her. I love the cover, which is a little hedgehog plushie and this very, very bright neon green. I vaguely know what it is about. It's supposed to be about a woman who brought some trauma with her to the adulthood. She did not process it, and she kinda considers herself an alien, observes the Earthlings, sees herself as a separate being from these Earthlings and not a part of the world. That's her way of coping with what happened to her. I like an interesting premise, and I want to read something other than fantasy and sci-fi once in a while. Talking about different genres, I also have a classic here, which is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. This might be the start of me reading some classics once in a while. It's one of the few classics I'm interested in for some reason. I'm not sure why. It just intrigues me. Also, I like this cover. I love a thick book, and it was super cheap, so I just picked it up. This is a classic revenge story. I'll see about that. Another addition to my shelves finally is Gideon the Ninth. I was a little hesitant before about whether I want it physically or not. After hearing more about it, after knowing a lot of people do love it, not everybody, but a lot of people, I decided it might be up my alley because I also heard it's supposed to be weird, and I love weird. This is the first book I have which has a step-back cover, and I really dislike it, not even commenting how skewed it is. And it's supposed to be epic science fantasy. I really hope I will love this because it has the potential. The last book I have for now is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee, a Korean author. I considered reading this in Korean. It's pretty hard to get a Korean book around here, so I just went with this translated version. I hope it's gonna be a good translation. I expected this book to be a little bit shorter, but this is well over 500 pages. This is supposed to be a moving story told through generations. Those are all the additions I got for my bookshelves. I can't wait to read all of them, and let me know if you saw a book that you also consider reading as well. Thank you for watching, and keep reading books.